Good morning, everyone. I'm Usha Paune, working in the Department of Computer Science in SRNB General Government Arts and Science College, Khammam. Today, I'm going to give, as part of our FDP, we have to discuss about how to create our HTML page and how to save our HTML page, and finally, how to browse it in any browser. This is the video we are covering in here for our tutorials in order to know how we can execute the HTML page in live. I will explain this. See here, I'm going to give the introduction regarding our HTML in the previous class. Here we will know the execution part. For that, I'm sharing my screen. First, we need to do the process of creating the HTML. In order to create the HTML, we first start from the creation of the HTML code. This can be done with any text editor. Here I'm going to use the Notepad as my text editor. For that, first click on the start button in your PC or in the laptop. Then next type the Notepad. Once you have typed, you can see the Notepad in your screen. Once you have selected that, you can see the Notepad window. In the Notepad window, I'm going to type a simple HTML code for your understanding. For that, always we have to start with the HTML as our code starting line, and next to that we can have the tag as head tag. This head tag comprises of a attribute, that is title. Once we want to have a title for our page, we can make use of this attribute, and we have more attributes in the head tag. But for our simple program, I'm going to use only the title for our head tag as the attribute. In the title, I'm going to give our title as the web page, and after giving the title, we need to close the title with the closing. That can be done, we discussed it with the help of the forward slash, and next to that we need to end the title. After closing the title, once we have done with the head part, we need to close the head tag too. After closing the head tag, whatever the text or the images or the content we want to add to our web page, that can be done within the body tag only. For that, I'm going with the body tag. In the body tag, I'm typing a simple text. My first web page here, and closing the body tag. Once we have done with the body completely, finally we need to close our HTML tag. This is how a simple HTML code can be constructed. And once we have done with our typing of the HTML code, we need to save our HTML code. For that, in our menu bar, you can have the file as the option. Click on the file, you can see a drop-down menu here. In the drop-down menu, select Save As option. While you are saving, you need to be clear with where the location we are saving our web page. Once we have saved it, we need to note the output too. For that, we have to be clear with the location. So I'm clearly checking that in this PC, I'm storing my web page in documents. For that, I'm going to give the web page name as FIRST is the file name I want to give, and giving an extension. See here, once I typed first, you can see in the drop down next to that, first is there, means it represents that already a file with the name first is already existed in the system. So remember that once we have a file name with the same name, it will be overwritten. To avoid that, I'm making use of the first page as my file name. See, now you don't have anything that was already overridden. So first page is the file name I'm giving, and always a HTML code will be saved with the extension that is .htm or .html. Most time in real time we can have .html as the extension. So I'm making use of .html as the extension here, and you can see save as type as text document is there. You can select all files or you can keep it as it is. There is no problem, but selecting all files represents a best way of selecting our file to show that we are keeping our HTML page in all file option. And finally, in the window, you can see in the bottom of the page, a save option is there. Click on the save option. By that, our page will be saved. That you can know that in the web notepad page. See here, you have a name in the top left of the page as first page. It represents that our notepad is saved with the name first page. Once we have done with this, close the notepad window. Once you have closed the notepad window, final step in order to see the execution or the output of our web page, that can be done by using, first we need to enter into the place or the location where we saved our HTML code. I already told you that, remember the location. I remember that it is in this PC, in documents, my web page is there. So I'm selecting here the documents. Once you click on the documents, you can see some files over here. Among that, whatever the file name you gave, please check with that. Here I know my page name, I gave it as first page. Just before I told you, I already gave a saved a file in the HTML that as first. So before you can see that. So now I gave the name of my file as first page. See, next to you, you have a logo here that represents here. That logo represents the Microsoft Edge HTML documents, nothing but once you have saved any HTML document, by default, what our PC or the laptop is processing a browser, that browser logo can be represent here. If you have not saved your file perfectly or properly, you will not get that logo here. That means error was existed in the code in the saving part itself. So you have to be clear with whether the logo is existed or not. After checking with this, right click on the name of the file. Once you right click on that, you will see a drop down box here. Among it, click on open with option. Once you click on the open with option, you can see the list of the options here. Among that, you can find some browsers what are available in your PC or the laptop. Among these browsers, click on the browser whatever you are comfortable with. So I'm by default here, my PC is processing Microsoft Edge, but in order to show, you can also opt for the other browsers also. I'm clicking on Google Chrome here. Once you click on the Google Chrome, you can see our web page. I will show it as it was covering with the options. Once I'm opening with Firefox. Why? Because I'm selecting Firefox as my browser processing some of the windows here. So I want to open a fresh page of the Microsoft, whatever we are having. That Firefox is not processing the other windows. So I clicked on it. See here, you can have our title as web page here. And the next to that, this part, whatever you are seeing, the white part, it represents the body of our HTML. Remember, if we have any errors, means while closing the tags or opening the tags or whatever the things we did, that errors you can have, it can be not listed here, but you will not get the output carefully. So be careful with that, and you can have your output. My first web page, whatever I have given in the body part, that was there here as the output. This is what we have for today regarding to the HTML code execution. Thank you, and thank you so much.